Imagine waking up to the smell of smoke, flames licking at the walls of your home, knowing it's not an accident, it's your own mother's doing. She lost all her children, and this was her twisted way of getting even. But in the end, her revenge burned her more than anyone else. If you've ever felt the sting of family betrayal and dreamed of seeing justice served, even if it's messy and heartbreaking, then you're in the right place. Hit that like button if family drama gets your blood boiling, subscribe for more raw revenge tales from Reddit, and let's dive into the story of a mother's downfall that will leave you questioning how far someone can fall. My life has always felt like walking through a minefield, where every step could trigger an explosion from the one person who should have protected me, my mother. I am the oldest of several siblings, and from as far back as I can remember, I was the shield. The one who took the hits, literal and figurative, so the younger ones could breathe a little easier. Our home was never a safe haven. It was a stage for my mother's chaos. She was the kind of woman who craved control like oxygen, manipulating everyone around her with a smile that hid venom. Her eyes would narrow when she didn't get her way, her voice turning sharp as a blade, cutting deep without leaving visible scars. But I learned early on to bury my pain, to push forward, because stopping meant letting her win. It started unraveling years ago, but the real storm hit when I finally cut her out of my life. I'd built something stable, a loving husband, a beautiful daughter, a home where laughter wasn't drowned out by screams. We were happy, or as happy as you can be when ghosts from your past linger. My mother? She couldn't stand it. She saw my independence as a betrayal, rejection of her twisted version of family. In her mind, we all owed her our lives, our loyalty, no matter how much she poisoned them. I remember the day she crossed a line that shattered any illusion of redemption. It was a quiet afternoon, sunlight filtered through the curtains, casting warm patterns on the floor where my daughter played with her toys. The knock at the door came like a thunderclap. There stood a police officer and a CPS worker, their faces stern, clipboards in hand. "We've received reports of abuse in this home," the officer said, his words hanging heavy in the air. Abuse? My heart pounded in my chest, a frantic drumbeat echoing my rising panic. They mentioned sexual and physical harm to me and my daughter, accusations that twisted my stomach into knots. My husband stood beside me, his hand on my shoulder, steady as always, but I could feel the tremor in his grip. I knew instantly it was her, my mother. But proof? That was her specialty, striking from the shadows, leaving no trail. Inside, my thoughts raced. How dare she? After everything, she drags strangers into our sanctuary? My fists clenched at my sides, nails digging into palms, as I forced a calm explanation. We invited them in, showed them our daughter's room with its colorful drawings on the walls, the kitchen where we baked cookies together. The air smelled of vanilla from the morning's batch. They left satisfied, but the damage was done. That seed of doubt, that invasion, it festered. My siblings and I had long since distanced ourselves. We ignored her calls, her manipulative texts that alternated between guilt trips and threats. She was entitled, bratty, a master at playing the victim while wielding the knife. And my little sister? She was her mini-me, echoing every toxic trait. At 14, my sister had been pressured by our mother into sabotaging her own future, poking holes in condoms to get pregnant, all so Mom could play grandma. It worked. The baby came, but the boyfriend bolted when the truth surfaced. "You baby-trapped me," he said, and vanished. My mother promised help, but it was all smoke. She posed for photos with the newborn in shirts proclaiming "Grandma's baby," her smile wide and fake, while doing nothing to lift a finger. The family theory about our grandfather paying for Mom's hysterectomy. It wasn't a rumor. She had baby rabies, as we called it, an obsession with grandchildren to fill the void of her failures as a parent. Our grandfather, seeing the destruction, handed over cash to end the cycle. But Mom twisted it, using my sister as a pawn. And the money from our grandmother's inheritance? Squandered on her whims, loud affairs in every room of the house, pills that dulled her edges but sharpened her cruelty. Then came the night that cracked me open. It was 4 a.m., the world outside our window a blanket of darkness. My husband shook me awake, his voice low and urgent. Your sister's on the porch. My pulse quickened, a mix of dread and irritation flooding my veins. Why no? Why her? She'd blamed me for Mom's arrest earlier that year, when Mom's antics finally caught up, involving fraud or something shady. The details blurred in the haze of family drama. It's your fault, my sister had spat over the phone. You ruined everything. I'll kick your ass if I see you. I peered through the curtain, seeing her silhouette under the porch light, arms cradling her baby, shoulders shaking. Call the cops? That was my first instinct, the protective wall I'd built. But something stirred, a flicker of that big sister instinct I'd tried to bury. I opened the door, cool night air rushing in, carrying the faint scent of rain. Leave, I said flatly. I don't like you, and it's the middle of the night. She looked up, tears streaking her face, eyes red and swollen. Please, she whispered, voice breaking. The baby fussed in her arms, a tiny cry piercing the silence. She begged, words tumbling out about how living with Mom was hell. Abuse, hits that left no marks, yells that echoed in her mind. Mom's loud sex with random men, even in the baby's room, the air thick with shame. Pills pushed on her, temptations she resisted but feared. And the CPS call? Mom's doing, a plot to snatch my kids through lies about grandparents' rights, which don't exist here. Why help her after everything? She'd taken Mom's side, called my daughter and me retarded, a slur that stung deep, given our autism, and my husband's likely too. But as she sobbed, something in me snapped. That buried protector resurfaced. I let her in. My husband fetched our other sister. Wait, no, he helped bring her inside. We sat in the living room, dim lamp casting long shadows. Hours passed in tears and confessions. She knelt, begging forgiveness, her hands clasped like in prayer. I'm sorry for everything, she choked out. For siding with her, for the names, for hurting you. My chest tightened, memories flooding back, me as a kid, claiming blame for my siblings' mistakes. I did it, I'd say when Mom raised her hand, feeling the sting so they wouldn't. Now, here was my sister, broken by the same monster. She revealed Mom's mental break, firing maids and nannies, isolating herself in rage. The baby's father gone, her own dad estranged. He gave up on me, she said, voice hollow. She'd helped Mom hide affairs, even wished Mom's lover was her real dad, betraying the man who raised her. When the baby cried, hunger gnawing, my sister shattered. She covered her ears, screaming, shut up, then collapsed in sobs. I can't do this. I love him, but I can't. Exhaustion etched her face, she hadn't slept in days. I took the baby, his tiny warmth against my chest soothing my own frayed nerves. Rest, I told her. I'll handle it. That night, I called her dad. The phone rang in the quiet, my heart hammering. He was firm at first, no contact, the betrayal too deep. My sister had chosen Mom, helped cover the cheating that ended his marriage. We all knew about Mom's infidelity. I'd walked in on her with my 17-year-old boyfriend, Devin. The image burned, tangled sheets, laughter turning to shock. Devin, that scum who introduced me to drugs at 14, ruining years of my life. If he's listening, I hope the gonorrhea Mom gave him lingers. He was a walking disaster, big head, tiny arms, the embodiment of everything wrong. But I pleaded for the grandson he didn't know existed. A sigh, then I'll see. My sister slept 2 days straight, her body finally surrendering. Meanwhile, Mom noticed her absence, reporting her missing in a panic. I called grandfather. He calmed her, but warned me, keep the boys safe. Mom might snap. When my sister woke, her dad was there. Apologies flowed, tears mending old wounds. She wasn't a daddy's girl, Mom had poisoned that bond. But now healing began. My brothers arrived soon after, spending time with their dad, our ex-stepdad, who loved them despite the paternity lies my sister had known about. He and grandfather decided the siblings should live with him. Safety over chaos. Before she left, I asked how she found our house. Mom told me. Chills ran down my spine. How did Mom know? Mystery unsolved. We reported the abuse, subtle, bruiseless torment, but Mom stayed silent. No outbursts, no grabs for the boys. Eerily calm. But silence hit her storm. She and her enablers, her cult following, as I called them, her cunty siblings, tracked us. They knew our location the whole time. It happened on Thanksgiving night. We were all at my brother-in-law's house for a slumber party, laughter filling the rooms, kids in pajamas, the scent of turkey lingering. Warmth, family, the kind I'd always craved. Then chaos. Smoke alarms blared, acrid smell invading nostrils. Flames erupted, devouring walls. We scrambled out, hearts racing, clutching children as fire trucks wailed in the distance. Cameras caught it all, Mom and her crew, torches in hand, faces twisted in rage. Revenge for losing us all, her children fleeing her toxicity. She aimed to kill, to erase us in fire. But we survived. Police swarmed, warrants issued. Yet, they vanished. House intact but for the blaze's scar, social media erased, siblings gone. Lost. The authorities fumbled. She slipped away. Her shock when caught on tape? I imagine it, eyes wide, realizing her plan crumbled. But the real payoff? Her isolation, warrants hanging like a noose. Justice, cold and earned, even if unfinished. Relief washed over me amid the ashes, validation that her evil boomeranged. Looking back, karma doesn't always tie neat bows, but it bites hard. My mother's actions, born of entitlement and loss, only cemented her downfall. It taught me that breaking free, no matter the cost, is the ultimate justice. Sometimes, revenge is simply surviving the storm they started. If this tale of family betrayal and fiery fallout hit you hard, smash that like button and drop a comment. What's the craziest revenge you've seen in your own life? Share your stories below, we all have them. And don't forget to subscribe for more gripping Reddit revenge narratives that remind us justice comes in unexpected ways. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.